Hi all. In today's video, we will try to understand what a false breakout is and how to identify a false breakout. But before I get into the details of it, let's try to briefly understand what a breakout is. So whenever the prices breach either the key support levels or the key resistance levels, we say that there has been a breakout. So let's give an example on this chart. Over here, what is happening is the red candle is breaching the key 1900 support levels, and from there we witness a good downward rally. So right from your 1900 levels, the prices have fallen down to about 1650 levels. Now it is pretty evident from this example that if a trader trades the breakout, they tend to earn huge profits. But there is a condition attached to it. The condition is that the trader should trade the breakout only if the breakout is a genuine one. However, in the markets, what happens is there are instances wherein we witness a false breakout. And if a trader trades on the false breakout, what will happen is he will end up in huge losses. So, first, let's try to understand what a false breakout is, then let's understand how to identify it. So a breakout is said to be false when the prices temporarily move above or below the key resistance or support levels, but then the trend is unable to sustain and it retreats back to the same side. So giving you an example over here, what has happened over here is that the green candle is breaching the key 2000 resistance level, and post that we see that the trend was unable to sustain itself and it has rather retreated back on the same side. So such a situation is known as a false breakout. So in my opinion, a false breakout is a contrarian move and it flushes out traders who have entered the trade on emotion rather than logic. So now let's try to identify a false breakout. So to capture the false breakout, the trader must have an understanding of firstly the basic candlestick patterns and secondly the price action. If in any case you don't have an understanding of the either, you can take a look at our previous videos wherein we have covered both the topics. So let's get started with the tips. My first tip over here will be that generally the probability of a false breakout is high when the stock is highly volatile, whereas stocks with a lower volatility have a low probability of a false breakout. So to avoid false breakouts, you can select stocks with a lower volatility. All right. Now let's get on to the second tip. Tip number two. My tip number two will be to understand the price action. So let's give an example over here. Over here, what is happening is the green candle has breached the key 1900 resistance level, and immediately after that, the second candle that is being formed is the red one. That means this is indicating that the sellers are trying to take control and that this trend won't sustain for a longer period of time. Now, in connection to this example, I would like to also give away my third tip. My third tip over here will be to check to check the RSI. If there is a breakout but the RSI is already in the overbought zone, then the stock does not have much scope to go further up as it indicates that the stock is overbought. Again, over here, when there was a breakout, we see that the RSI was already in the overbought zone. Thus, the stock did not have too much scope to go upwards, and we can beforehand identify this as a false breakout. As a matter of fact, when the RSI is below the 50 levels, and then if we witness a breakout, then what will happen is there will be a very high probability of the stock going up. All right. So till now we have covered three tips. Let's go on to the fourth tip. My fourth tip will be that there should be no bullish formation below the support, or there should be no bearish formation above the resistance level. So let's take an example again over here. Over here, we see that the green candle is breaching the 1900 key resistance level. And immediately after that, we see a bearish pattern formation. That is your dark cloud cover. Thus, the prices were unable to go further up, and instead, this has acted as a false breakout. So we avoid situations wherever there is a bearish pattern formation above the resistance level and whenever there is a bullish pattern formation below the support level. All right. Now let's get on to the fifth tip, tip number 5. So my tip number 5 will be that we should check if it is a genuine breakout or is it just completing a pattern. What I mean to say over here is that we need to check whether or not the price movement is forming a part of your pattern, such as your head and shoulder, your M pattern, or your W pattern. So let's take an example over here. Over here, we see that there is a left shoulder being created, followed by your head, and then your right shoulder. Now, in our right shoulder, what has happened is the green candle is breaching the key 2000 levels resistance level. Thus, we need to understand over here is that the formation of your head and shoulder is getting completed and not that there has been a breakout. Thus, we should be aware of our head and shoulder patterns, our M patterns, and our W patterns. And we need to check if either of these patterns are being formed and if the price movement is a part of this pattern or not. All right. My next tip, my tip number 6 will be to check the momentum. Now, over here, what has happened is the red candle has breached the 2000 support levels, and right after that, the momentum is lost. Instead, the price have consolidated, and then we again see that this has acted as a false breakout. So, understanding the momentum is also an important parameter while identifying the false breakout. Finally, my last tip, tip number 7, is that we will avoid operator driven stocks. Operators are very well aware of the key levels and they deliberately drive the price in such a manner so as to hit your stop loss. So, just in case if you don't know how to identify a operator driven stock, please do let us know down in the comments so we will post a video on it shortly. All right, these were a few tips I thought I should share with you on how to identify a false breakout. However, please note that a false breakout is different from a whipsaw. In case you aren't aware of what a whipsaw is, don't worry, we will be posting a video on it as well soon. Also, if you feel the need to speak with us, you can DM us on our Instagram. Our Instagram handle is @thefinancialanalyst. Thank you all for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and also comment down below on what concept would you like us to cover next. Thank you all.